Well, if you're on social media at all, the one thing we constantly see is dogs that have been found by people or dogs that need a home. And unfortunately, that is the case at the Carbon County Animal Shelter as well. I'm very pleased to be joined by Tom Connors, the director of the animal shelter. Tom, this seems like it's a really tough time right now. We see so many dogs that are either found and you can't find their owners, or they're being put up for adoption by the people that own them because I don't know if they can't take care of them or can't afford them. What are you seeing, and how bad is it for your shelter?
Well, it's as bad for our shelter as all the shelters and rescues. We're in like a crisis situation I haven't seen in the past 12 years. It's every day people calling to give up their dogs. We only handle dogs, but a lot of shelters handles cats and dogs, and it's the same thing with the cat situation. So people want to give them up, people are letting them go, people are dumping them on the road, and it's just becoming overwhelming, the cost of the medical care and the food and supplies, and it's really getting bad out there.
Do you think there's an end in sight, or do you think it's only going to continue or get worse?
I don't know if there's an end in sight. I certainly hope there is. We need some help, we need support. We get a lot of good support where I'm at, but people have to realize that these shelters need help to stay open. I mean, it's every little bit makes a difference. So it doesn't matter what shelter you help, as long as you help them. And there's different ways to help.
Now, at your shelter, how many dogs can you handle? How many do you have? And how many have you had to turn away?
Well, we really try not to turn away any dogs. Some dogs we put on hold when they're on a release. We have 16 kennels today. We have 23 dogs, which means some kennels are cut in half. We have a couple kennels, crates in the reception area, which shouldn't be. And every day we're getting phone calls. So we do our best to find those dogs homes too before they come in. But we have some dogs that have been with us for 2 years, and it's not fair to them when the shelter gets overfilled, because it takes our attention away from them somewhat, and it also brings that stress level up. Every time you add more dogs, it just becomes more stressful for not only the dogs, but for the staff also. So it's pretty bad out there.
I just can't believe I see some of these things on Facebook. I see things you post too, and that you know, people just, I don't know how they could do it, that they just let the dog off or they tie it somewhere and they leave it there to starve. I mean, it just seems unconscionable.
It's just crazy how it is. It's a whole new world. What we never expected years ago has just become common today, and we go into houses where people moved out and leave their dogs behind, or they chain them to the fence, or they leave them on the pole. By us, it's bad because we have the Broad Mountain over there by Nescahoning, and a lot of people leave them on the mountain thinking they're going to make their way back to our shelter. And, you know, there's traffic, there's animals, there's predators out there. It's pretty tough once they're out there to try to get them. So we do our best, but it just seems to be getting worse and worse.
You have to feed them, shelter them, walk them, obviously. But a lot of these animals come in not so great shape, so then you have a lot of medical bills as well.
We found that recently a lot of people are dumping dogs that do have medical issues. So they're really not reaching out for help so much. They're just giving up on the animal itself. That makes it even more difficult. It's getting tough that way. But you have to give the animal the right amount of time and care, and that's where volunteering helps out. If we get people to come in and walk our dogs, it makes them a little bit more social, gives them a little more time out. Now that spring is here, it's the perfect time to come on down and sign up to be a volunteer. I'm sure all shelters will welcome help at this point.
What does the warm weather mean for a shelter? Does that mean you're going to get more dogs being dropped off, or does it mean more people will be coming in to adopt?
Hopefully more people will be coming in to adopt, because once the warm weather comes, they think about walking and exercise. There's no better way to lose weight than to walk a dog a couple miles a day. So that's a positive thing. Plus, you're allowed to take your dogs that are inside all winter and bring them outside. Now you can keep them outside in the kennels outside. You could walk them more. You could play with them more outside. So it's certainly better for the whole environment down there. So it's a good thing that the spring is here.
And I know it's Mixed blessings are what the weather's getting warmer, but then you have to worry about the dogs being left out in the heat, dogs being left in a car. Do you get calls for all that too when the weather gets warm?
We get calls and we direct it to the police departments in that area. There's the Libra law that came out a couple of years ago, which is very good, and it kind of dictates how long a dog could be outside in certain temperatures, and that's a positive thing. So more people are becoming aware of it and calling. More people are making calls on their neighbors and saying something ain't right, and that's what makes a difference.
Well, we're putting some pictures up to show you some of the dogs that need a home. Hopefully people will do that. If someone watching this, Tom, wants to help out, how do they go about adopting a dog? And if they can't do that, how else can they help?
Well, if they're interested in adopting a dog, they can give us a call. We'll make an appointment for them to come in. We like to sit down and talk with them and kind of get a feel of what's going to work for them. We always say we don't make it hard in Carbon County. We just want to get it right. So, and there are other ways to help. You could donate food or a monetary donation. You could also come down and walk dogs. We have people that come down, wash dishes for us, and help us clean up the outside. So there's different ways. Just give us a call, and we'll be happy to set something up for you.